This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. Are you ready? Okay. Good.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Linda Thomas, president of the 100 Black Women Columbus. And I want to welcome everyone here today. And I want to first start off with the mission. The mission of the 100 Black Women Columbus is on behalf of African American women and girls. And we promote self-awareness, leadership, development, and mentorship, including gender equality in the areas of health, education, and economics. And I just want to announce quickly that we're starting a new mission. And this mission is in Mauritius. Did I pronounce that correctly? And we're going to do cancer. We're going to help Mauritius with their cancer awareness and development and spreading it amongst the people, because as we all know, people of color and people with low income, there's a economic disparity between getting treatment.
That's
and
right.
I'm
Yes.
so proud to announce that one of our sisters have been appointed. Look at all this enthusiasm I'm getting ready to say. Noreen Palmer.
Yes.
Okay, that's a hand clap. Has been appointed to the board of, what's the name of the board, Noreen?
I'm the secretary for the Falcon Medical Memorial Cancer Institute.
And
Wow.
we as the 100 Black women are going to support her fully. And we plan on going over there in a couple of years. And listen, everyone, we got someone
Go where?
that's our hostess that's going to hook us up. And that's Miss Glow Kinley. She's going to hook us up with this trip in a couple of years. And that's just going to be wonderful. And I don't know if we're ready yet to hear about the rest of the programs. Tony, are you on yet?
No, but
Okay, I'm gonna send this to Tony, the link, and we can go on to the next person. Oh, never mind. She's just gonna come around and use mine.
Oh, do I have? Okay, I can see myself. Can all of you see me?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay. Can you hear me pretty much?
Yes.
I'm not Linda Thomas, but I'm Tony Robinson. I had a little problems, you know, as we get older. We have problems sometimes with the high technology. But good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're enjoying this cold, blustery, windy afternoon. But I want to talk a little bit about the programs of the 100 Black Women. You know, we're one of the greatest women's organization in the state. You know, we're grassroots, we're community oriented and community based. So today I'm going to talk about a few of our programs. And I want you to listen. I want you to listen to this address. I'm going to tell you first. If you want to contribute, donate, or interested in our organization, please join us at www.100blackwomencolumbus.org. And I'll repeat that, and you'll hear it at the end of the program as the program progresses. First program I'm going to talk about today is our Purses with a Purpose. The purpose of this program and the goal is to help homeless women with personal care items. There are 216,000 homeless women in this country, and it's also the fastest growing population in the country, women and children. The purpose of the program is to distribute these items. We put them in a handbag, washcloths, soap, toothpaste, toothbrushes, sanitary napkins, tampons, deodorant, and a host of other items, along with hand sanitizer and also masks. And we distribute these to homeless organizations, also pass them out to women on the street. So if you see one of our sisters coming with a handbag for you, please accept it and know that we're here to help you. The next program I'm going to talk about a little bit is our health and wellness program. The purpose of this program is to advocate for women and children's health care. There's a large disparity in health care among treatment for Black people. And as we notice with some of our more celebrity sisters like Serena Williams, who talked about, even though she has a lot of money, she felt she was denied proper health care during her pregnancy and she almost lost her life. So if a celebrity this important felt that she didn't get proper health care, what about the rest of us who are not as well known and don't have the money? So this is an item that we need to pay attention to. We need to advocate, talk with our legislators about receiving proper health care. We also provide health seminars. We do health fairs to help educate the people about the problems in our community. And as we know, the biggest problem right now is homicide that has been listed as a public health issue. So please, please, please join us when we have our health and wellness fairs. And like I said, www.100blackwomencolumbus.org. The last item I'm going to talk about is education. With education, we're doing 2 programs right now. We do a mentorship program with city schools and well as charter schools. One of our programs is called the Star Student Program. That program is for middle school, high school, and some elementary children. What we do, we work with these kids throughout the school year. And at the end of the year, they're nominated to receive an award for their outstanding works, not only in academics, but if you have a child who's in gymnastics or dance or sports, who has done something outstanding, we want to recognize them. And the other program is our scholarship program. You know, we provide scholarships to women, well, not women, but children who are graduating from high school. And also we help women who are in career programs. Maybe they didn't graduate traditionally. Maybe they had to wait 2 years before they went to college. So we offer resources to them as well. But the best part of this is how you can help us. We're coming up with our signature fundraiser that helps support all of these programs. Our signature program is Jazz, Eggs, and Friends. And we will be doing this program July 30th at the Villa Milana, and it'll be in the year 2022. We did a virtual scholarship program last year, Jazz, Eggs, and Friends. So we want you to please join us, participate, pull up our website, www.100blackwomencolumbus.org. And we need your help and we need your support. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Very good.
Thank you, Tony. And next we'll have a prayer by Arlena Fitch Gordon and then a song by the fabulous Lisa Griffin. And I'm going to ask Arlena to unmute. I'm asking Arlene. Okay, thank you. Arlene, can we have our prayer?
Madam President, I didn't expect this, but I will be obedient. Let us pause a moment. Dear Heavenly Father, we simply want to pause a moment just to say thank you. Thank you for even waking us up this morning and allowing us to view this video, encouraging women, learning about what we as women need to do in order to assist our community. Dear Heavenly Father, bless all our presenters and speakers that's on this program, and all of these blessings we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And I'd like to just do a little housekeeping. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you can do a reaction. There's hand clapping. You see that? So if you hear something you like, give a shout out on your reaction. There's hearts. It's on the right, on my side, it's on the right hand, it says reaction. So please use that. Also, there's a chat feature. You can go into the chat and you can, we'll ask people to maybe mute or something like that at the right time, or ask people to unmute when we have questions. So I just want to go over a couple housekeeping items, and next we will have a song by Lisa Griffin. And we'll ask you to unmute while she is singing, please.
Hello, everybody. Today I want to celebrate Mahalia Jackson for this Women's History Month. She's one of the most influential vocalists of the 20th century. She was the first gospel singer to perform at Carnegie Hall, the first gospel artist to receive a Grammy Award. She traveled the world, performed for kings and queens. She was a activist during the Civil Rights Movement. She was known as the inspiration behind Martin Luther King's I Have I Have a Dream speech. Harry Belafonte once described her as the single most powerful Black woman in the United States. Not only did she sing to the glory of God, she wrote 3 books, established a scholarship foundation, owned a beauty shop, and invested in real estate. There's 2 quotes from Mahalia Jackson that kind of stuck with me. Time is important to me because I want to sing long enough to leave a message. And the other one is, I hope to bring people to God with my songs. And as a gospel singer, I believe that's exactly what she did. And that is also my prayer and hope, that I reach someone with my songs. And I believe she left a message of hope and a message of love and a message of peace. And today I salute her because she's still changing lives. She's touching so many lives with her songs. And I will sing one of her songs here. How I got over. How did I make it over? You know, my soul is back and wonder, how did I make it over? How I got over. How did I make it over? I had to cry all night, but my soul is back and wonder, how did I make it over? How I got over. How did I make it over? You know, my soul is back and wonder, how did I make it over? How I got over. Been rising and falling all these years. You know, my soul is back and wonder how I made it over. Soon as I see Jesus, man who died for me, man that bled and suffered, he hung on Calvary. I want to thank him for how he taught me. I want to thank God for how he taught me. Ooh, I want to thank God for how he kept me. I'm going to thank him because he never let me. I want to thank him for old time collision. I want to thank God for giving me a vision. I'm going to join the heavenly choir. I'm going to sing and never tire. Sing somewhere around the altar. I'm going to shout my troubles over. Lord, I got to thank you. Thank you for being so good to me. How I got over. How did I make it over? I had a mighty hard time. You know, my soul is back and wonder how I made it over. Tell me how I made it over, Lord. How I made it over. I made it. You know, my soul is back and wonder how I made it over. I'm gonna wear a diadem in a new Jerusalem. Ooh, I'm gonna walk the streets of gold, homeland of the soul. I'm gonna view the whole light from every nation on the way to the great coronation. From the north, south, east, and west, on the way to a land of rest. Oh, we're gonna join the heavenly choir. We're gonna sing and never get tired. And I'm gonna sing somewhere around your altar. I'm gonna shout my troubles over. Lord, I gotta thank you for being good to me. Lord, I wanna thank you. Lord, I wanna thank you for being my friend. Yes, I wanna thank you. You had your angels watching over me. I wanna thank you for the vision. Yes, I wanna thank him for old time religion. I rose me this morning. Oh, you woke me up. You woke me up this morning. The blood running warm in my veins. Lord, I wanna thank you. Lord, I wanna thank you. Whoa, I feel like running. Lord, I feel like shouting. Lord, I feel like singing. I feel like shouting. Oh, I wanna thank you. Thank you. You've been so good to me. Lord, I wanna thank you for being so good to me. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. That was
Amen.
awesome.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. We do have a special guest. I'll ask for Barbie to get ready for her presentation. But prior to that, we do have someone who has joined us all the way from California, and that is Dr. Rosie Milligan. Dr. Milligan is a nationally known speaker and author of many books. And I asked her if she could join us, if she please give us about 3 minutes of an update of what she's doing in her latest work. And I'm going to ask you to unmute Dr. Milligan.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, how many minutes?
3 to 5. 3 to 5. 5 minutes. 5
Okay,
minutes. Okay.
I want to thank you for allowing me to share this with you. I'm so excited to do that because Noreen, her sister, the family there in Ohio, it just embraced me so much when I was on my tour as a writer. And I was just so just touched, hearing you all talk about, particularly when we think of history. It means so much to me because I am who I am today because of the women who went ahead before me. When I looked at what Madam C.J. Walker did, what $1.50, then I thought, well, everything that we have, what is our excuse? Then I knew if she could do it, I could do it. That's why it's important. Same thing with Mary McLeod Bethune, who started her school. And we think of what I can't do. I need an SBA loan. I need somebody to give me something. These women broke records. So we need to really take a picture out of history. But what I do, I'm a writer. I'm a publisher. My publishing company is the largest African-American female publishing house in the nation. I write because I teach people how to empower themselves because no longer can we keep begging other folks to do things for us. I guess that comes from my background. But first, let me tell you, I hail from South America, better known as Mississippi. Somebody walk with me up in here, okay? So I learned at an early age, yes, You know, and people ask me sometime, Noreen, as I travel and I talk about my experience, Doc, don't tell nobody that you was a farmer. Don't tell them that you picked cotton. I said, honey, I picked it, I chopped it. I did everything you could do to it. I did so much to cotton that when I walk into a store and see a garment that's 100%, I don't feel like I really need to pay for it, because if I didn't pick that cotton, my grandma picked it, somebody did, okay? So it's not where you're from, but I learned some early lessons. Not only was my father a farmer, he owned the farm, folks, and that makes a difference. So my message across the country now about economic empowerment, our communities suffer from what I call economic hemorrhage, Noreen. We're bleeding to death because there's certain decisions that we're not making. We got to be in control. And if we don't understand now that we must pack our own parachute, I don't know when we would get to do that. So what I'm doing on the West Coast now is basically estate planning, teaching people how to pass down generational wealth. People who are in probate, trying to get the money, the court getting money, it just doesn't make sense when they can do a living trust and everything passed down to their families. I want to see our babies that's ushered into this world. I want to see them come in at least on the first floor. We can't have any more babies coming in here, ushered in the basement. That's why it is so hard for us to rise. So I just want to see our people come out of the economic ditch. I want to see them come from beneath the economic rubbish. And I know we can change, but the thing that we're going to have to do, and my message has been that we're going to have to stick together. We're going to have to work together. Families are going to have to do what they did years ago, live together. I did a seminar and I asked the people, it was about 40 people in that seminar. I said, how many of you all came from Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee, down south? At least 80% of them raised their hand. I said, okay, when you all came here, did you have an apartment or a house waiting for you? They go, no. I said, well, how many came here to live with Aunt Liz and Uncle Bubba, Cousin John? All the hands went up. I said, wow, isn't that's something. But why is it that nobody can live with you? Did y'all hear what I said? Why is it that nobody can live with you? Not even your kids. But I think there's been a message that's loud and clear. I don't know what it's like back there, but here in California, if you get a studio, you are paying in some places $2,000. You're not going to get any place for rent under $15,000. I'm talking about a studio apartment. So something is in the making that we're going to learn to live together, to work together, to build businesses together. So I just hope that we can pass this on to our children, that we need to leave a legacy, leave something. And if you don't teach them how to have something, otherwise we'll be back to sharecropping, because there will be no more land. All the land that's here, God have made what he wanted to be here. So if we let it all get away from us, we'll be back to sharecropping. We won't be picking cotton. I don't know what we'll be picking. So I just thank you for giving me the opportunity. I am so excited about what I'm doing. I'm loving it, encouraging people to write, to tell our stories, because one thing for sure, you cannot tell it from the grave. Thank you, Noreen.
Thank you, Dr. Rosie. And we would like to hear more from you. Hopefully you'll be able to come and see us here in Columbus, because it is happening. What you're saying is happening in Columbus. And you definitely have a preview to that in LA. I know with that big stadium that was built where they had the Super Bowl, that you're seeing that firsthand.
Yes.
So we want to hear more from you, and we'll be talking with you soon about coming here.
Okay.
Okay, Barbie Bush, she is going to talk about her family connection to Madam C.J. Walker coming up. Let's pull her presentation up. Okay, Barbie, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Good afternoon, everyone. The person that impacted me in Black history is Madam C.J. Walker, AKA Sarah Breedlove, born 12/13/1867 on a cotton plantation near Delta, Louisiana. Her parents were Owen and Minerva, and they bred free from slavery, which made Sarah the first freeborn baby. Sarah married at the age of 14. She had a daughter in 1885, Layla. Her husband passed away in 1887, Moses McWilliams. Sarah escaped oppressive working environments and frequent mistreatment from her brother-in-law. Sarah worked as a washwoman for $1.50 a day. Could you change for me to the next slide? Thank you. Madam C.J. Walker has the cape over her shoulders, and to her far, I want to say far right, is my aunt who had the capability of working for her. And Sarah in the 1980s developed a skin disorder causing hair loss. Many women lived without indoor plumbing. Regular shampooing wasn't possible. Pollutants were untreated, causing head lice and sores. Inadequate nutrition made it difficult to maintain healthy hair. Next slide, please. Thank you. These are my great-grandmothers and my great-great-grandmothers. And the grandmother with the cape had the capability of cleaning and working with Madam C.J. Walker. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay. These here are my hot combs that were handed down from my grandmother of the 1950s. And I too, to this day, still make homemade hair oil, and I press my hair to this day. Next slide, please. Thank you.
Like the fish.
Fish and chicken McNuggets.
These hot combs are my mother's, which were handed down from her grandmother in the 1930s. And these are all original hot combs that we have. My mother presses her hair, has been pressing her hair all of her life. My mom kept the original pressing can, as you can see to the left. They used this pressing oil and the hook towel, which is the hot combs are placed on. That is the last towel that she has had that she's been holding on to. You can see that it's ripped and falling apart. That is a hook comb is used for wiping off the grease and residue from the combs when they come off the stove. I don't think I put the next picture up, but I have a picture of homemade grease and body butter and oil, which I do believe I probably didn't give to you, but my niece has a small business making organic products to keep the tradition going. In the 1905, Sarah was hired as a commission agent for Annie Turbo Malone. Sarah sold her hair products for Annie Turbo Malone. Annie later became Sarah's biggest rival. Next picture, please. Black African. Okay, I'm not sure. Black African women travel. Okay, Sarah traveled the country giving lectures, demonstrations, which established the Walker Laboratory. Sarah invented the African American hair products and became the first Black African American woman to become a self-made millionaire. Sarah was also married again in 1906 to Charlie Joseph Walker, which gave her her name, C.J. Walker. Sarah's known philanthropy endeavors and donations toward construction in the Indianapolis YMCA of 1913. Sarah died on May the 25th of 1919 of kidney problems. Hypertension contributed to her death at the age of 51. I want to recognize women who have impacted Black history for today, such as Octavia Spencer, Serena Williams, Whoopi Goldberg, Michelle Obama, Viola Davis, and Jennifer Hudson. And this ends my research and contribute to the person that has impacted me in my life. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Reactions, you can also give your hand claps if you look on the bottom of your screen as our presenters are presenting to encourage them. And we will, at the end of our program, ask each presenter to give contact information in case someone wants to get in contact with them about what they have, the products that they have, because I know we want Dr. Rosie, but someone else may want to also have her come also. And also Barbie's products are available. And Millicent, who you'll be hearing from, her products are available. Glow has a travel agency. So I would ask Gloria Kinley to go next, and Robin to prepare for your presentation following Glow. Can you unmute, please? Gloria Kinley. Kinley connection. We need you to unmute.
Here I am.
Okay.
How-
Here you
Okay, I don't see me, but that's good. Hi, everybody. My name is Gloria Kinley.
Glow, I think
And-
if you go to your bottom and go to your video, you can show your video. You may have hit the wrong button.
I sure did. How's
Okay,
that?
there you go. Yes, that's better. Thank you.
My name is Gloria Kinley, and the proudest thing in my life are our 4 children. My husband Lee and I raised 4 children. And today, I want to talk about passing down the history of the family. That's what's so important. I have a great grandson, only one great grandson. His name is Christopher Campbell. He attends Westerville North or Westerville South. But anyway, he called me a few weeks ago and he says, great grandmommy, that's what he calls me, great grandmommy. I have a project and I'd like to know, a school project, and I'd like to know if I could interview you. I had never had a child interview me before, but I said, sure, come on. What surprised me was he didn't want to know so much about me as he wanted to know about the ancestors. He asked questions that brought to mind stories that I had heard as a little girl that I've never passed down to my family. And the purpose of my presentation to you today is, don't keep this information to yourself. Pass it down. Our history needs to be passed down, and these stories can only be told by the people who are in the family, who have heard these stories. He asked me about my grandparents, and he said, I don't suppose you know anything about any great-grandparents, do you? I says, well, as a matter of fact, I do know one. Great-grandma Aunt Nanny. She died at the age of 119. I was 19 years old when she died. She was a slave, a young girl as a slave, when the slaves were set free. She was one of those house slaves. I'll say that, a house slave. Her mother had been a bed warmer. I learned all of this from Grandma Nanny when I visited her in Cedartown, Georgia, when I was 11 years old. Her mother was a person who laid at the foot of the bed where the owner, the plantation owner and his wife were in bed, and her mother laid at the foot, and they put their feet on the child in order to keep them warm. I guess hot water bottles hadn't been invented back then in slavery time. I don't know, but that was what you did. But what occurred was the master ended up more at the bottom of the bed than he did at the top of the bed. And as a result of that, that's why we have so many different colors in my family, along with green eyes, gray eyes, and everything else. So great grandma Nanny was one of the ones that was set free. And she and her husband were given a little patch of land with a little shack on it. And when I went to visit her when I was 11 years old, she was living in that shack and she had cooked dinner for us. She had fried chicken, biscuits, greens, cornbread, all that stuff that we like. But I didn't see a stove anyplace. And it was prepared in a fireplace. She never had come from the old stuff. She still cooked in the fireplace. She didn't go on the kitchen stove to do anything. She didn't have a stove. Cooked all that in the fireplace. And while we were sitting there eating the chicken, suddenly she had a hole in her roof and a big old black snake dropped down out of the ceiling. And of course, I jumped up and tried to run. She just moseyed on over to the corner, got a stick, and beat the snake to death. Then picked him up with that stick and threw him outside. And all these chickens that she had running around in the yard suddenly jumped on that snake, jumped on that dead snake and ate it. Now, I'm an 11-year-old impressionable child. And I'm wondering, I asked her, I said, Grandma Nanny, I said, do your chicken always eat snakes? And she said, yep, that's what they do. Said I kill them with my snake stick. And then I throw them out there and my chickens eat them. Said I get 2 or 3 snakes every week and that's what my chickens eat. And I was just getting ready to take a bite of the chicken that was in my plate, another bite. That chicken was so good. And I said, well, I guess you bought this chicken at the supermarket. She said, nope. It's those same chickens that's running around out there eating that snake right now. I just killed him this morning, killed the chickens this morning, and that's what y'all are eating. I was flabbergasted. I could not believe anything that anybody was doing that. And I won't go any deeper into that story. I would have a limited time, but I do want to tell you, since she was such an old person and they had records, the people who had set her free actually they had records of her birth. So those records are still in our family. And it was written up in the Columbus Dispatch when she died at 119 years old. But every year, the people in Cedartown, Georgia, black and white, all came together to give her a big parade. And they would put her on a float and float her through town. And it would just be a big parade that everybody would just be happy. And they brought the food and everything. And this one year, they decided that it's time for her to move out of that shack. So they moved her. Instead of taking her to her house when the parade was over, they took her to a new house that they had built for her, and it had all the modern appliances in it, and they left her there overnight. The next morning, when they came to bring her bottle of moonshine, which incidentally, she had a little half-pint bottle of moonshine that she drank every day. Where that come from and what that has to do with getting that old, I don't know, but that's what she had. When they bought her moonshine, she wasn't there. And they didn't know where she was, so they went over to her old shack, and there she was with her hand all bandaged up. And she said that she had gotten hungry, wanting something to eat. She had turned on this stove. Nobody had showed her how to use it, I guess. She turned on the stove and put her hand on it and burned her hand real bad. So I don't know what happened after that, but I know that when I saw her, she was still living in that old shack, and that's where she ended up at. These are stories that I know that have been passed down. There are some other stories that have been passed down. This is one that I saw when I was just 11 years old, a story that I had never even shared with my children. And here I was sharing it with my grandson because he was interviewing me for a paper that he had to write at school. And it made me realize we need to bring down our history. It's wonderful that we go in and get all of the Black history of what our ancestors did, but we have history right here in every family. I know you've heard those old stories that people tell about things that have happened, about the haints and the spirits and all that different stuff that used to scare me to death when I was a little girl. Those are the things we need to tell our children so that it can be passed down and we will live forever through the stories that we pass down to our children. And if you don't get anything else out of this, just remember, pass down the history of our people and of your individual families to your children. That's the end of my presentation. And I thank you all for taking the time to listen to me.
Thank you.
That's it.
I threw a hand clap. That was a lot in the story. I think it reminded us of a lot of things. And although
Yeah.
you didn't have pictures, I definitely put pictures in our heads for sure. Definitely.
Good.
Love the snake story too. I wish we would have seen a picture of your of her. That would have been nice to see a picture of her. But we
I
can
have it too. We have it too. We have pictures from the Columbus Dispatch, the article.
Mhm.
We have the documents that were given to her when she was set free as a slave. We have all of that. And that's in a book. That's in a book. And my oldest daughter, Benzetta, has collected all of that, and she's keeping all of that. But I'm going to have her get the family together so that we can let all these little ones know about it, as well as the grown ones who don't know.
Okay,
Thank you.
well, thank you so much, Gloria Kinley from the Kinley Connection, the travel agency. And we'll go next to Robin. And she's going to tell us some history about her family and the coming home, the famous coming home reunion.
Oh, yes.
Robin, are you ready? Is she on mute? Robin?
Okay.
Okay, we'll come back. Millicent, are you ready? We'll see, maybe move on to Millicent if Robin's not ready. 1 second. Now let me unshare it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to take off the mute. Let me find myself.
Okay, you're there. Okay, all right.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, okay. Okay.
Okay, good. All right. Sorry.
Okay, so we have Robin Williams, and she's presenting on the coming home. It was a great time in Columbus, in the history of Columbus, where we came home and we saw people we hadn't seen for years and years and years. So we want to hear this story, very exciting story. Robin Williams.
Okay. Yes, this presentation and of honoring of my grandmother, Ruth McCray. It's all about the community and helping people feel good about their experience. Are you showing the slides? Can you?
Yes.
Slides on there?
Yes,
Oh,
are
I
you
don't
ready?
see- Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready. Okay.
Can you see the slides?
No, I don't see the slides. Does anyone see the slides? Oh, there they are. I'm sorry. Okay, back to the slides. Excuse me. This is all about the coming, the community and helping people feel good about themselves. The coming home celebration back to Mount Vernon, the coming home and the vision that my grandmother shared with me. Everybody was so encouraged. And she's at a birthday party. That's her 95th birthday party in February of 2016. And she lived to 95 years old. And December 31st, she passed away on New Year's Eve. But introducing my grandmother, Ruth McCray's vision of the coming home on Mount Vernon Avenue. And she's in the limousine. We put her in a limousine so she can ride down Mount Vernon and see Mount Vernon. And she really enjoyed that. My grandmother, she was so much for the community and was truly a selfless and strong woman. She was a businesswoman. She was an entrepreneur. She began her career as a supervisor at DCSC. Subsequently, she found her soulmate and partner when she married Levine McCray, Mac, we called him, of Miami, Florida. Together, they founded Tex Cleaners, and for the next 28 years, provided high quality dry cleaning at 3 locations. Since her husband's death over 36 years ago, Mrs. McCray had been active in several businesses. A chicken and fish market at 18th and Mount Vernon Avenue, a CEO of Phaedra Cosmetics, and an owner and operator of Roof Care Group Homes. I was very proud of my grandmother, and she instilled a lot in me. I worked with her. I was with her just about every day in her businesses, and she really instilled a lot of me. I seen what she had accomplished. And she was just thoughtful, kind, and considerate of people, and very positive. She was a people person. She also ran a trainer house, a place for parolees to get training and experience in a job so that they become again productive citizens of the community. While residing in Oakland, California, she continued her commitment to public service by volunteering as a director of Meals on Wheels. And this was being a motivational speaker at Eleni College in 1982. She enjoyed being active with the community wherever she was. She got along with people so well, and everyone loved her. But the crowning achievement of her career, which is so important to me, is it touches my heart that she is the first she shared with me that she had a vision. This is one morning she woke up and she first shared with me, and she is the original founder of the Coming Home Celebration in 1995 on Mount Vernon Avenue. She repeated, I had a vision. Oh my gosh, she just woke up one day and told me, Robin, I had a vision, a coming home, a celebration where all the people that moved away can come home, come back home to Columbus, come back. She repeated, I had a vision. And the vision came true. It was exciting to hear that from my grandmother, what she had to say, and see how she made it come true. And she always made things come true. She made things happen. Anytime she set her mind to do something, she was just a selfless person, and she just poured her heart out to anyone. She was so kind and always loved to talk to people. Sometimes we'd go places and she would talk, and next thing I know, I'm with her, and then I look back, they were just standing there talking for hours. And she just really just had a way with people. It was just unbelievable, though. It was just like, wow, thousands and thousands of people from all over the country that came together for that vision of the Coming Home Celebration on Mount Vernon Avenue. I never seen so many people before in my life, just from all over everywhere. There weren't many cell phones back then. There weren't computers. People were just out enjoying each other, having fun, and able to just, enjoy their life's experience and see each other moving back and just celebrating with each other and being with their family. And it's something that she accomplished. And I just couldn't believe it, that she made it happen. It was just only a vision. And reflecting back on many accomplishments is why this is history. And I don't know if many of you were able to attend, but sadly, it was never done again. It was never done again. It was never done again that way. She didn't know she had the copyright or have rights to the Coming Home, but there were some other individuals that were kind of greedy, or maybe wanted attention, or wanted just to be the original, take that name away from her. But when they did have it the following year, it didn't turn out very well. And I wonder why, because it wasn't their vision. They didn't put their heart into it. She just put her heart into it and thought about it and worked it out. And wow, it was amazing to see how many people were there. And many of you may not know of this vision, but I'm thanking you for giving me the opportunity and to give you the connection of how it came to be, that she made it happen. And thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you, Robin. If you would
Welcome.
like to give her a little applause, you can put it in the
Yes.
reactions. That was an amazing event. I was there.
Sure was.
All right. Yes. It was
Amazing.
so nice. Thank you.
Okay, next we're going to have Millicent is actually here with me. And
Hello.
we're going to hear from Millicent. I was drinking her Alka Living drink during this whole presentation. She makes cold pressed juices. She helps people detox and cleanse. And I just want to say quickly that we have a slave history of malnutrition. And I know many of you probably have also had opinions on this, but I know when I was growing up, if you were bow-legged, that was supposed to be kind of sexy or something. But I know Dr. Milligan could actually comment on this because she's actually a nurse. But that bow-legged had to do with our malnutrition from slavery. But we always could take a lemon and turn it into lemonade, right? So we start thinking that bow-legged was looking good. Say, oh, she bow-legged. Oh, he bow-legged. No, we was malnutrition. We had malnutrition passed on to us from slavery. So
Right.
anyway, nutrition is important. And so Millicent is going to, Millicent Brandon Porter is going to talk about nutrition. And she has a very good program that is very spiritual at the same time, as well as she makes the products. And she has a beautiful spirit. And I love it when she tells me good morning. She sends me texts and she tells me grand rising. And she's just so positive. So she's positive spiritually and also from a nutrition standpoint. And it's something that we actually really need. Okay, just a second. I can find her document. Let's see. 1 second. Here. I think we're in downloads for you. Downloads. Here we go. Okay, there you go.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. My name is Millicent Brandon Porter. I am the founder of Alka Living LLC, and we basically just specialize in detoxing, specialize in health and wellness. We do mindset, affirmations. We're kind of all over, but basically we just want to make sure that we are getting back on track health-wise. So we basically focus on health and wellness. I know this is kind of a women's history, but I just want to come from more of a nutrition point, just to make sure that we touch on our health and our wellness as well. So basically the steps towards deprogramming and reprogramming is what I'm going to be talking about. Just our habits that we're so used to doing from a child, right? So we all was raised in a certain environment, and it plays a part in who we are today and the actions and the certain things that we do. So I'm just going to go over some habits that we can possibly change or work on to better our mindsets, and also, to live longer and healthier lives. So I'm going to get started because I only got a certain amount of time. So I'm going to try to go through this really quick. So the first step to recognizing any problem or issue is recognition. So recognizing is very, very important. It's the first step to taking any type of action, is to first recognize that there's a problem or recognize that we need to fix something. So some different examples of recognition, or different examples of things that you can recognize that are simple, can be just goals. Like maybe you haven't set any goals, or you want to do more. Maybe you're surrounded by too much negativity, or you can't stay consistent in something. You're overwhelmed, or you can't finish what you started, things of that nature. Those are all, things that happen, but the most important thing is that we recognize that that is happening, so that way we can fix it. So we are going to go to the next screen. Something popped up, sorry. Okay, so what can we recognize about what we eat, or the foods that we eat? I'm going to, before I show you that slide, I want to say, me personally, I am vegan. I do not preach vegan. Anybody can have a good, well-balanced diet. And I basically just encourage detoxing. I encourage detoxing and just like a positive mindset more so than anything else. So I am going to just touch on two food groups. That is eggs and dairy, and just so that you can have more knowledge on what it is that we're putting into our bodies, so that way we are taking better care of our health. So a lot of these facts you may not know, and it's something that's like really simple that you can just switch and change, or you can, make the proper adjustments so that way you're not eating too much of something that can really be harmful to our health. So I just like to point out facts about, certain things that we eat. I also do a lot of herbs as well. So I have like detoxes that you can do if you're trying to detox your heart, your liver, your lungs. Maybe you have eczema or anything of that nature. I have certain herbs that will help with all problems. So I'm kind of in that area as well. But really quick, I just want to touch on eggs and dairy. So the first category is eggs. The CDC website states that heart disease is the #1 killer in the United States. And heart disease basically comes from too much cholesterol. So cholesterol, we make that automatically in our bodies, the perfect amount that we need. So any extra cholesterol is really not necessary. Furthermore, they say that you can have maybe between 200 to 300 grams of cholesterol a day. One egg has 207 milligrams of cholesterol. So we have to be careful when we make eggs in the morning. We put eggs on our salad. We might, dip our chicken inside of egg batter as well. And, we're constantly eating cholesterol. So it's just important to watch our intake. So cholesterol comes from any type of animal or animal product. So just to be mindful of certain things that we're putting into our bodies is all that I basically want to share with you all. Also, high cholesterol leads to obesity, and one person dies every 36 seconds from cardiovascular disease. And things that can help cardiovascular diseases can be exercising or just lowering our cholesterol intake. The next topic is dairy. So when you drink dairy, you receive an animal protein that's in any type of basically animal product, and it turns into acid. Calcium is a good acid neutralizer. So as we're putting milk into our body and we're receiving calcium, the animal proteins that's inside of the milk turns into acid, and the calcium that we're intaking kind of voids out the calcium that we're actually drinking. So we'll say, yeah, we need milk for strong bones, but in all reality, the acid from the animal protein, when it transfers into our bodies, actually causes more harm than good. So it's kind of important just to know, certain things that come from animals do have a effect on, how our body processes it and breaks it down. Also, the same milk that you're drinking for calcium, well, I kind of broke that down already. Not to mention that baby calves only drink their mother's milk until they're 6 to 10 months old. So really, everybody say, as you're a child or as you're, a baby, you get weaned off the milk and you start eating solids or you start eating purees, and then you start eating your solids. So milk is really something that we technically don't need. But of course, we have grown accustomed to it, and it's quick, it's easy. We put it in our macaroni and cheese, our mashed potatoes, our cereal. So it's definitely, we definitely use it, and it's a benefit. But it's just about what type you use. So I would prefer just any type of plant-based milk, preferably almond or hemp milk. Is really good and has a lot of omega-3s, essential fatty acids. It has a lot of protein. So you're still getting your vitamins and your minerals, and there's no type of animal protein or no type of give or take situation. It's only take. So those are the two groups that I just wanted to touch on. So now, how does nutrition and mindset tie into each other? First off, it's all about our habits, right? So as we're a child, we're taught not to touch something, not to do this, not to do that. So any type of habits or any type of fears that was placed that on our mothers or our fathers automatically kind of transfer over to us. And it's not on purpose or anything. It's just how we're raised. So our habits are really, really important, and it has an effect on how we think and what we eat as well. And if we change our mindset to change our diet, so a lot of us have to mentally say, okay, you know, I want to eat better. I want to have this type of body. I want to hit this type of weight goal. I want to start being more positive. But all of that starts with the mindset. All of it starts with the recognition. So a lot of times I just encourage people to take a second out of their day, write down their goals, write down what it is that you want to accomplish. And then if you do that every day, they say it takes 21 days to start and form a new habit. So if you do that for 21 days, then 9 times out of 10, you're going to hit your goals. You're going to start seeing more stuff come to fruition in your life and what it is that you're asking for. And also food plays a role in mindset. So a lot of us know that certain foods have actually can cause you to think certain ways. There was a couple of studies done, but that's going to take too much time to go into. But food actually plays a role in your mindset. So it's really important to watch what it is that we're eating, so that way we can think clearly as well. And I don't know if I want to touch on this, but since it's there, I will. Animals give off emotions when killed and then transfer that energy into ourselves. So everything is really is energy, right? You ever step into a room, you can kind of feel the energy, you can feel the vibe. So when an animal nowadays is getting slaughtered in a slaughterhouse, it's a little different than when it was back then. You know, we don't really raise our own animals anymore. We don't really have control over our food chain. We just go to the store and we accept whatever they give us. And that's another thing that's really important too, because how the animals are raised, how they're fed, how they're treated, how they are killed, all of that makes a difference in the type of quality in the meat that you get. So it's important that we know that any type of blood, endorphins, or any type of adrenaline that's going through that animal's life as this life is getting taken from him will have an effect and take place in the blood. So if you are eating and people wonder why like they're depressed or anxious or anxiety or anything of that nature, it's because a lot of things that we eat can cause that as well. So I always encourage people to buy more organic, more like local butcher shop type food and kosher, just so that we know that our animals are getting taken better care of if you are, if you still eat meat, or if you eat meat. Sorry, my time is up. So really quick, now it's like a now what, and it's a plan. So like I said, just it's awesome to write down your goals and plan. I have a lot of things available on the website if you guys want to check it out. I have detox ebooks and programs, things of that nature. And I'm about to pass it back to Noreen. Here's my information too. Thank you.
Thank you. Millicent, as I said, is a great speaker, spiritual person, and also can help you get reset when you decide to detox. And I know Dr. Milligan also is vegan, and when she was here before, she had never had corn. Remember that, Dr. Milligan? And I gave her white corn, yellow corn. Ohio is a corn place, just trying to figure out what I could feed her because she's like, hey, I'm vegan. I'm like, oh boy, I don't know what I'm going to feed you here. So now we'll have next Wanda Dillard. She just got recognized as with the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame, first Black female to be recognized, in that matter here, and that in terms of that highest recognition in Ohio. So she's definitely made women's history, and she is our keynote speaker. Wanda, you're muted. I'm asking, oops, where did she go? Oh, where did she go? She took me off. What happened? Okay, here we go. Wanda?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Okay.
Okay, I'm working on this. My PowerPoint, for whatever reason, won't come up. I knew this was going to happen.
Okay, let me
see if I can pull it. No, I'm going to see if I can pull it. I knew it was going to do that. I had it all set up. And for whatever reason, there it is. Okay, I'm up.
Okay.
Coming shortly here.
Okay, we can see it.
Good afternoon. I thought what I would share with you, since I spent such a long time in the military, I would talk about her story to kind of give you a historical journey through women, especially Black women who have been trailblazers as far as being in the military. And I put this up here. This is the Women's History Month. This right here is actually the logo for it. This is a collage to just show you through the ages from the beginning of the Revolutionary War all the way up to where we are now with the Afghanistan, which we pulled out of, but just to kind of show you that there were Black women involved in this. One of the first Black women to be involved in the military was really actually Phyllis Wheatley. If anybody knows about her, she was a writer and she was liberated. And part of the Revolutionary War was that she actually took and wrote George Washington a letter to let him know and to show her appreciation for him in the Revolutionary War. The other person who was involved in the military was Harriet Tubman. A lot of people don't realize, they know that she was the Moses, but they don't know that she was really actually a Union spy. And she was a fighter, and she earned the name of being called a general. Susan Baker King Taylor, she traveled with her husband's regiment, working as a laundress while teaching Black Union soldiers how to read and write during their off-duty hours. She also served as a nurse, helping camp doctors and care for their injured. And one of my favorite heroes is Kathy Williams. Kathy was a Buffalo soldier. And what she did is she pretended to be a man. And she was assigned to the famous Buffalo Soldiers. If you know anything about the Buffalo Soldiers, you know that Ohio has the connection. And I had the opportunity when I was in the Ohio National Guard, I was project officer for the reenactment group from Atlanta. There's a Atlanta Buffalo Soldiers. They reenact and they ride horses and things. And Colonel Young at that time, he had been teaching ROTC at Wilberforce University. And they had his house, and they preserved his house as a Black military museum. If you're ever down in that area, you can actually go in that museum, and they've got his epitaphs and everything that he had from West Point. But Kathy, what she did was she pretended to be a man because she wanted to serve. And you know probably how she got busted. When you are a woman and you get sick and they have to take your clothes off, it's really obvious that you have boobs and things that don't look like a man. So that's how she got busted. But she served faithfully with the Buffalo Soldiers. Then we go to World War I. Black soldiers were on the troop trains and the Colored Auxiliary American Red Cross, which were a group of Black women who were nurses. They were nurses with the Red Cross. And we had an Ohio connection there too. They were assigned at Camp Grant and also Camp Sherman right here in Ohio. And they cared for, and if you notice this, they cared for German prisoners and Black soldiers. You don't see there that they cared for white soldiers. So that's something to kind of think about too. And then World War II brought about the Black women enlisted group, the Women Auxiliary Army Corps. They were the first group to ride at Fort Desmond. Come on, Macy. Excuse me, my dog is acting up. Where there was 400 white women and 40 Black women. And you have to think about this too, that these women enlisted to serve, and they were in segregated units. They participated in segregated training. They lived in separate quarters. They ate at separate tables, and they used separate recreations. They weren't allowed to integrate. The Army and the military did not, until 1943, take it and recognize women and have women in the military. And the group that just got recognized just recently is the 6888. These women were sent overseas to take and do the mail. It is said that the mail was in a whole warehouse, and these women were able to do about 6,000 pieces a day to get it to the troops and to take and make sure that they got their letters from their moms, their sisters, their loved ones. And after all of these years, this group was just finally recognized. You also have to credit this group with really opening the door for Black women when it comes to taking and being in the Women Army Corps. Now, I want you to look at something on this picture. You see that they're wearing boots. When I went in as a WAC in 1973, we wore low quarters, and you had to earn the respect to wear pantyhose. And if you know anything about my legs, they're like pencils. And I had to wear anklet socks with those low quarters. I felt like I had stepped back into my childhood. And here's another shero, Captain Eleanor York. She was in the military. She was an Army nurse captain, and she was a passenger among 4,000 men. She spent more than 2 years in Japan and 8 months in Korea treating wounded people, wounded soldiers. And it was said that on her 13th day ride home, that they treated her like a queen. Okay, and besides being the only woman aboard the transport, she was one of only 600 Black women that were stationed. And of course, Major Mary Rogers, she was an Army nurse, and she served in Korea and also Vietnam. I went in during that time period because I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. I went to college for a little bit, and then I went on to work a little bit, and then I just joined the Army. I had uncles, but no really females who had served. And so I went in and was on active duty for about 5 years. And I was stationed in Fort Carson, Colorado. And then I ended up being at Fort Meade, Maryland at Kimbrough Army Hospital. The military trained me to be a respiratory therapist. And so when I got out, I went to college and got a degree in respiratory therapy. And one of the things is that when you're in these Army hospitals, I used to, when I was the company commander, I was the company commander of the 684th Medical Company in Westerville. And we used to be able to set up hospitals in the middle of nowhere. When we talk about Operation Desert Storm, we talk about the many Black women that served. And it was estimated about 40% of them were African-American women. Now, because of some information that I had during Desert Storm, because I was pregnant with my son during Desert Storm, and I was also the company commander of a medical unit. So I had to leave my job and go take and mobilize and deploy our nursing unit. And they got to their deployment site. And by the time they got there, the war was over. Operation Desert Storm was really, really a quick war. But one of the things that occurred not only in Desert Storm, but also in Afghanistan, you know, women are entrepreneurs and they can find things to do. And I'll never forget being in a briefing talking about some young women who had got together and had them a little prostitution. Well, I'm gonna say that they were human trafficking themselves. They probably would have continued to do that. However, somebody got mad and got greedy, or somebody did this, and that information was never told to the public, that we did have women that were prostituting. Because if you think about it, if you were a male in a war situation, you would have a lot of money. because there's nowhere to spend it. And so these women saw an opportunity and they were able to take and do that. The thing that happened too, also, before the ruling was even taking place, is that we really actually had women in combat zones. Because what we learned is that the normal battlefield that we had designed over the years was not what we saw. There was no front line, there was no rear line, there was no kind of line. It became very fluid. And with that fluidity part of it, because normally hospitals are untouchable in a war zone, but when the war zones are switching and everything, you end up, we had several incidents that occurred during the war where we had people that did dumb things. I'm trying to explain how to explain that, but they did some things that, because they thought they were safe and they had been taught they were safe, but with the battlefield changing, okay, they ended up in combat. So now what we have is we have a lot of women that actually have PTSD. They actually have the same trauma that men are seeing. The VAs are treating the women now, and they haven't been able to go back to their families and things like they were before. And so we have to think about the fact that women also suffer from PTSDs and things in wars. And we also, during that time, realized that we could actually have women that were POWs. And you probably remember the story of Shoshana Johnson, who was captured and held. And she received 30% disability benefits for her injuries. Okay, but here we go again. You know, the thing that you see is her counterpart, who was white, received 80% disability. And so you see these disparities. When I was in the military during the time, you know, we always had a disparity. And what I mean by that is this, is that Black women were more likely to be sexually assaulted. They were more likely, I had a friend that her first sergeant told her that if she slept with him, he would make sure she got a duty tour in Hawaii. And she ended up going to Alaska because she refused to sleep with him. You always had that going on, and you still have that going on today. It has not been corrected. I was sexually assaulted when I was in the military. And the only thing that saved me was my grandmother told me if something ever happened like that, to take it, grab the man's penis and squeeze it like a washcloth. And so I grabbed a hold to it and act like it was a washcloth and twisted that thing. But anyway, so that continues to happen. And it does take a toll on you, you know, when you've had those type of experiences, because normally it's somebody you trust, somebody you know that does that. It's not somebody randomly that does that. We still have Black women in the military. We still see a disparity. When I was with the Ohio National Guard, which was like the good old boy system here in Ohio, when I first got my commission, because I did 6 years active duty, went to college and then came back. I stayed in the reserves when I was on the East Coast. And then when I moved back to Ohio, there was an opportunity for me to get commissioned to an officer. So I went through OCS for 15 months. One weekend a month, 15 months. And I got commissioned to a lieutenant. My first duty assignment was Tiffin, Ohio. And everybody in Tiffin, Ohio chewed tobacco, and they were all farm boys. And they told me, ma'am, you want to chew? And I kept saying no, because there was cups all over the place with that nasty stuff in it. But anyway, so then a friend of mine who had been there before me, a black male officer, he said, you're going to have to do it for them to leave you alone. Okay. And so lo and behold, I chewed some, and it was a Sunday, and I had to drive from Tiffin, Ohio back to Columbus. And I didn't know you're supposed to spit it out. I knew the cups was around, but it just didn't seem like it was the right thing to do. So anyway, I swallowed that mess, and I was sick all the way down 23 back to Columbus. I was sick as a dog. But from then on, they respected me. They listened to my commands. They taught me things, but I had to chew that daggone tobacco in order to take and become part of them. From then on, though, if they say, ma'am, you want to chew? I say, no, I don't want to chew. That's not something I want to do. Okay, but I had to do it to take and show that I belong. And that's what women have to do dumb things sometimes just to show them that you know what's going on. And just recently, I was the second Black female to be inducted into the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame. The lady on the right, we served together in the military. She ended up being the Major General for the Ohio National Guards. I got out because I didn't want to go to Germany because I had a young son. He was 3 years old. And so I went inactive during that time in 1996. But I knew that I had the threat of being called back up because I was inactive. I received the Hall of Fame the same time as Colonel Young. And I briefly talked about Colonel Young's historical ride. He rode from Wilberforce, Ohio to the Department of War in DC to prove that he was fit to go to war. And so with the Atlanta Buffalo Soldiers, they reenacted that. They rode from Wilberforce, Ohio on their horses, along with a young group that came out of Philadelphia called Crest. And they teach those young boys, they have like a chuck wagon and everything, and it's a part of their discipline. And it was picked up by CBS this morning, and they played it and they filmed them all the way to DC. And when they got to DC, they put a wreath on Colonel Young's grave, which is located in Arlington Cemetery. And so I had a very good career. I would not recommend. I had a young girl the other day asked me about going into the military, and I told her I wouldn't do it. And I said, long time ago, when I went in, you didn't have the threat of being deployed for 18 months or 2 years in a war zone. And now you have that threat. And that's not something I would recommend. But I mean, if she wants to do it, she could do it. It's what I said, but I would not be the one that would recommend something like that. And I'll say this because Glo was talking about this earlier. You know, my tagline is I was born in a holler and potty trained in the outhouse. Okay, I grew up in the hollers of Virginia. We moved to Ohio with the Great Migration when the coal mines closed, but I spent my summers in the holler. And with that, I had a strong Black woman. That was my grandmother. She was actually a slave. And she used to tell me all the time, get you some education and own you some land. And that was one of the first things I did when I got out of the military is I bought my house with my GI Bill. Got my education over time. And what I'll leave you with now is this. We see that Maya Angelou says, a wise woman wishes to be no one's enemy. A wise woman refuses to be anyone's victim. Maya's gone, but she did pass the torch on to Amanda Gorman. And we saw her at the inaugural carrying the torch for a great poet in Maya Angelou. And I'm no doubt that this young woman will be somebody we will continue to talk about. And she says, there's always a light, if only we're brave enough to see it. If only we're brave enough to see it. And that kind of ends my presentation. And thank you so much. And if anybody has any questions or any comments, let me know. Thank you.
Thanks so much to Wanda and all the women who presented today. We're going to go to some door prizes and questions. I don't know if Zoom is going to cut us off, but we want to make sure we go through these door prizes. Linda, are you there? Linda and Barbie have door prizes. Do you want to share what the door prizes are? I know that we're going to give a door prize to the person who called in from the furthest, which I believe is Dr. Rosie Milligan, and then Linda and Barbie are we're going to ask you to put a number in the chat. They have a magic number, so if you could go ahead and put your number in the chat. There's going to be a door prize for the person who has the number that's the closest to the selected number. The number's already been selected by President Linda. Put your numbers in the chat. And Barbie, would you show your door prize, and then Linda hers?
Okay. Oh, I sent you a picture of the door, one of the door prizes, but okay.
I can't get in to put anything in.
In the
But I
chat,
can-
it says chat at the bottom.
Yeah,
Gaynell's
but I
one
can't
is
even-
with me, and Gaynell's with me, so she will be under Linda, but it's actually gonna be Gaynell's number.
Can you see me? I don't
The
know.
range is 1 to 100.
Yeah, 1 to 100 is the number.
I can tell you my number, but I can't get in to do anything. Can anybody
Okay.
hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can tell us
just
your
Hear
number.
me? This is good.
Press more on the right-hand side.
But I'm
And then-
saying I just got a blank screen here. I can't do anything. I've lost everything, all visual.
Okay,
Okay,
I'd have to tell you my number.
okay. You can tell us
Okay.
your number.
okay.
Mhm.
All right, for me to take, my number is 3.
Okay.
All right. Would you say 60?
63.
Whose
My
whose
number is no.
that? Whose number is 63?
Gaynell sitting beside me, she said 63. 89, Vanessa. Okay, Barbie is gonna give you her website, but first we're gonna hurry up and get these door prizes away. Then she's gonna show you her website. I'll give you her website address, right, Barbie?
It's already, can you see it?
All right, I'm back in now. I
No,
can
you have
see.
to- Can you
Oh,
say
it's-
it? Because it's too
Can you
close.
say it? No, we can't see it.
You can't see
Say it,
anything?
Barbie.
No, you have
Say
to
it.
say it. Barb.
Okay, it's Etsy.com or Etsy me.
Spell it, the Etsy.
ESTY.com or ESTY.me. And then you look up Kingdom Artistry, KINGDOMARTISTRY. And the email will be T like Tango, F like Fox, O like Onion, S like Sam, 231@gmail.com.
Okay,
Okay,
that's to get in
Barbie.
contact with you. What's the door prizes?
Barbie,
Can you
your
see
two
it?
door prizes?
Can you see it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Looks
Tell them
like a
what it
pen.
is.
Oh, I make these.
Oh,
So
that's
this is a super heavy glass. It's about 10 pounds, I guess, or 8 pounds or so. And
Right.
it's Swarovski crystals, roses, diamonds, and it's made with the super glue gel
Wow.
to make it look like it's liquidated down here at the bottom. Okay, so this
Right.
is one of the prizes, and then the other prize, oh my goodness.
Wow, that
You
looks
made that?
real.
Yeah.
How did she do that?
And
That
then the
is
other prize put together is the copper with the tea lights in the glass where you can light them, holder.
Mhm. Nice.
That's very nice.
So this is the second prize.
Oh, nice. Linda, what do you have? Those are nice, both of them.
Very
Right,
nice.
okay, what I have, this came from Atlanta, Georgia. Pam Huntley's sister, this is an actual hand-painted mug. And she hand-painted this, and it says, I am Black history, powerful, beautiful, resilient, magical, smart, love. And this is a hand-painted mug.
Oh, that's pretty.
Mhm,
Okay.
that's nice.
Okay, which is the first prize we're giving away? You Was that gonna be that mug?
Yeah,
Um,
it'll be the mug.
Flower, the mug,
the flower,
the flower.
because it's the
Okay.
first prize, because this is
Okay.
more of an expensive.
Flower, okay, so it'd be, well, the flower.
Yeah.
And then the other, and then,
The
well, we already
mug.
know, no one's further than California, so we already know that, Rosie has, one of the prizes, and so Rosie, you get first pick, and then the other two will be the numbers.
Okay,
Rosie,
Okay.
which prize do you want? And then we'll have the other two. Which one do you want?
The mug.
Okay,
The
so now
mug, okay.
Rosie wants the
Okay.
mug, so now we have two more. Okay, so everybody get their numbers in, and I have three numbers that they didn't put in the chat, which is Millicent has 77, Gaynell 63, and Glow had number 3. Everybody get their numbers in the chat?
Yeah, I put in 5.
Somebody, Arnina put in 20. I see 20.
I put in 25.
And Vanetta had 29.
25.
I put in 5. Did
Right.
you get my number 5 for Robin? I put in
Yes.
5. I
Okay.
hope.
Okay.
The number is 62.
somebody was
Oh.
63. Somebody called out 63. I remember that.
That was
I got
Gaynell.
63.
So Gaynell's
Uh-huh.
close, and the next closest one is I think looks like 89 is closer.
And
80.
somebody said 83. I was listening to everybody.
Okay.
It looks like Vanzetta and Gaynell.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
All right.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay,
wait,
so
wait a minute.
tell them they have to give us your mailing addresses.
You're already gonna get it.
Oh, they don't live here?
You're already gonna get it.
I mean, Vanzetta, I mean, I guess we can
Wait a
arrange for her
minute,
to
wait,
get
wait.
it.
Millicent, it's Gaynell and Millicent. Sorry.
What?
She said,
Gaynell
Millicent said
and
that's
Millicent.
okay. She
Oh.
said, that's okay, Vanzetta can have it. Vanzetta came off mute, but Vanzetta's like, Okay,
Okay, before we get off of here, I have a presentation for all the presenters. Barbie is going to share what she has for the presenters.
Oh, the picture, I sent it to, I guess you didn't show it. It's the homemade body butter. You have an organic turmeric and honey soap. And I made some of the grease, hair grease, all organic herbal hair grease, hair oil.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
And then for all the presenters, we have a mug for you. So you just have to get with me
Thank
and
you.
text me your address or a number or something. We'll get with you. You know, we'll make arrangements.
Okay.
What happened to the
now
peanut
which
brittle?
prize the Gaynell one, and then the Vanzetta will have the last one.
I want that one. I want the.
The flower.
What happened to
Gaynell
the
wants the
peanut brittle?
flower. Gaynell
Okay,
wants
so
the
then
flower.
Vanzetta, you have that candle thing.
Okay, great.
All right.
Thank you.
All
Those are
right.
nice
Very
prizes.
nice program.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought
ladies,
we got some peanut brittle.
Can I make a speech?
Yes.
What happened to the peanut
have room for
brittle? It
questions,
got up
but I
and
just
ran
wanna say,
away.
This is
Oh,
recorded.
we don't need it anyway because we had a nutrition class today.
This is recorded. The whole, if you.
But
if
if
anyone missed this-
anybody wants to order any of the gifts that we gave away, let me know. And Barbie, I'm gonna tell Barbie right now, I want some of that hair oil.
I got you.
Magic. I want some magic hair oil, and I want some turmeric soap. So
Got
one of
you.
you people that were presenters, if your stuff disappears, I'm gonna tell you, I got your turmeric soap and I got your hair grease. And I want your cup, because I drink coffee every morning, so somebody's not gonna get a door prize.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Just want to
no.
say, this
I won't be
program,
unfair.
Linda, just one
That wouldn't be
second.
nice.
1 second. This program
right.
is this program is recorded, and it will be on the
Okay, I'm
website.
sorry.
We'll also put everyone's contact information on the website.
Okay.
Okay.
I saw some of my friends on there.
Thank you for inviting me. I